Hopefully this works. There we go. So I'm going to talk to you a bit about what we're doing with Adthena to help us out with regulation and compliance and stuff, which sound of things you might have wanted to go to the bar, get a couple of drinks in before I go into this. But I'll try and make it as interesting as possible. I mean, I think it's interesting, so hopefully you will as well. So first, a bit of background to what we are. So go through that, and then talking about what's happening in regulation, what's happening in a few markets, and how we're using that in our various parts. So starting off with who we are. So this is the Wikipedia thing, which I thought was a fairly bland explanation of what we are. So a UK company, we do financial derivatives, contracts for difference or CFDs, and financial spread betting, and now stockbroking. So get a bit more depth to that. This is the kind of scope of the products that we offer. So I'm going to start with the higher risk stuff and then move down towards the lower stuff. So binary options, they are basically the gambling side of things. So it's how markets move within the space of a few minutes, going up or down. And it's an area that's very high risk because it's essentially just flipping a coin, hoping it's going to go one way or the other. And we're trying to move a little bit away from that because there's a lot of people who aren't giving the best experience to their clients, and we want to try and make sure that we're not being dragged down with their particular approach to things. So that's something we're moving a little away from. So CFDs and spread betting is basically our core business, which is allowing people to trade on the stock markets, which doesn't require them to actually buy the share or the commodity or whatever. So they can trade on how it moves, which means you can invest a small amount of money and make a lot of money, but in the same way you can also lose it fairly quickly at the same time. So it's still reasonably high risk, nowhere near as bad as binary options. With a good strategy, you can still try and make sure that you've got the right things in place to stop you from losing and just putting stops in so the trade cancels when it hits a certain level. But one area we are trying to move into more is around the more sort of mainstream kind of side of things you're probably more used to, which is the share dealing. So that's the conventional buying and selling shares, so buying some Facebook shares, selling things, that sort of stuff to try and broaden your portfolio. So you're kind of getting a sense now that we're looking to try and really capture all of the trading market that's out there, from the very kind of gambling side if people want to do it, which we're not kind of trying to push, but it's there if our clients want to do it, towards the sort of slightly riskier stuff you might have in your portfolio, then into the kind of share dealing. But now a move we're moving into is investments. So that's more around your ISAs. So everyone knows that your cash ISA hasn't been particularly successful the last few years with interest rates so low. So the stocks and shares ISA, I mean, you may have seen adverts from people like Nutmeg and things like that on the tube, and they're allowing you to invest in a sort of a broad portfolio without needing to kind of pick and choose all the bits you're doing. It's allowing essentially a robot to guide where you invest, and then people decide the portfolio that you're investing in. And that's where we want to move. So we basically want to be the home of online trading is the kind of catchphrase we're trying to do. So if you trade, we're giving you a platform in which to do it yourself. So that's kind of a big background to where we are. So that hopefully kind of leads nicely into the situation we're in at the moment, which is around some of our more riskier products, which is what's going on within Europe. So we're always in conversations with the regulators in the local markets, sort of working out what they think we can say, how we're selling our products to people. What we're up against is a lot of people coming in who aren't regulated. So they're coming in from Cyprus, or actually that's a bad example, they are regulated in Cyprus, but they're coming in from small corners of the world in order to try and advertise to people without any regulation. And often the experience to give people looks quite bad. So they're not putting their money to one side, they're using it to pay their bills, for example. So if they go under, clients lose all their money. So we're in a constant battle with them to try and make sure that we are seen as a very reputable source, somewhere to really put trust in, invest your hard-earned money. And yeah, so the situation we're dealing with Europe is that getting quite tight on the riskier side of things. And Adthena has been really helpful in us monitoring what's going on there, seeing who's coming in, what's happening, and allowing us to have conversations with the regulators around what's happening should they put certain things in. So the story starts out with Belgium, which kind of a bit of a small country in Europe, but they decided they were just simply going to ban all of the riskier stuff. So we call them leveraged products. So that's the CFDs, spread betting, binary options. And that came in around about 6 to 9 months ago, and they just basically said stop doing it. So we weren't particularly strong there, so it was okay. So we just sort of made sure we weren't bidding on that area. And then France came in and said, we'd like to do something similar. And we had some conversations with them, and turns out they only wanted to sort of ban certain areas of it. So in the end, we got the compromise, and we were able to still advertise on certain areas. But there was still this effect where we couldn't advertise, or people shouldn't be advertising on certain things. But the trend carried on, and then we had the SCA from London coming in saying, right, we want to do something different. We want to make sure that we are limiting the amount that people can trade, the offers you're offering to them as well, and that being our biggest market, London, was quite a big concern to us because that's where we make a lot of our money from. It's where we're headquartered. It's where our main market is. So we wanted to try and use Adthena to help us guide the conversations we're having with Adthena. So the first thing that we did was have a look, well, what is everyone else doing out there? So we went to Adthena and said, look, this is a situation. Can we start some monitoring in markets that we aren't doing any paid search? And they said, yeah, sure. So set up as a server, and we started monitoring Belgium. And what we were starting to use is things like the share of clicks report. So what we're going to see is, well, who's still there? Everything's been banned, so it's pretty easy to say, well, is anybody advertising our products out there? If so, they shouldn't be. And then how aggressive they're being. So this is the kind of results that we got. So despite a ban, you can see it's actually quite an active space. So we've got Bolero, links, a whole lot of areas there. So the ban didn't really work. And this is some of the insights that we could pull out from the Adthena tool. So thankfully, just a quick download, send it over to our board, and they could use that in the conversations around there. But then we started to bring out some more interesting insights. So you can see down there, X90, they're not a big player in that area, but they're pretty indicative of the kind of stuff we don't want to do. So look at their website, seems quite legit. They've got all their pricing down there, talking about bonus offers, talking about things you can trade, commodities, indices, CFD shares, all seems fairly legitimate, but then you dig a little bit deeper. So this is the kind of disclaimer at the bottom of their website. A bit strange there. Marshall Islands. I don't know about you, but I don't know where the Marshall Islands are. So I Googled it, and that's what I found. So there they are, somewhere in the Pacific between Hawaii and Australia, and that's where they're based. So I don't know for sure, but I'm going to hazard a guess that the regulatory environment there isn't the strictest in the world. And digging a bit deeper, had a look, well, okay, well, maybe they're doing some good business out of there. They're just, maybe they were from there or something. So looking at their app, starting to look at some reviews. So it's a mix, 3.2, but you look at the comments. I think scam, 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 and then some random currency pairs. So this is the kind of thing we're trying to stop. So this is what's going to happen when you start banning our products, is that we'll go out there, we'll be nice and compliant, we'll do everything that's we're supposed to do, and these guys will come in and just go, it's cheap, opportunity, we can start targeting these people and bringing in some clients from that, and then bringing them in, and then, as this would suggest, they get scammed, in the sense that the companies have disappeared with the money, or they just don't pay out on things. So you hear a few horror stories about what's going on with some of those things as well. So we were using things like this to try and speak to the regulators and say, look, complete ban, this is what happens. You get this kind of thing going on. But then you can also look at things how are trending. Maybe it's the case of it's just the sort of the tail end of what's going on. People are still kind of conforming to it. So we had the server set up around about the middle of January, so that's why there's nothing beforehand. But then you can see after that, no one's really going away. So I think it's pretty safe to say that they are going to be staying there and targeting the Belgians, poor Belgians, and using that to try and exploit them and take up an opportunity that if somebody there was responsible and trying to give people education and things, it wouldn't be anywhere near as bad for the Belgian people. But then you think, well, Belgium's quite small. I mean, it's a little. I hope there are Belgians here that I'm offending. It's not the biggest country in the world, so maybe it's that kind of area where people forget. I mean, can anyone name any famous Belgians? Tintin. Good one. I've got Tintin on there. There are a few more. So we've got Eddy Merckx, who is a 5-time winner of the Tour de France. We've got Muscles from Brussels, Jean-Claude Van Damme, and Audrey Hepburn as well, apparently was Belgian as well. There are sites dedicated to this, like famous Belgians. You think maybe they've got some kind of complex about nobody knows who we are. But yeah, so maybe it's a small market, no one's really knowing what's happening. So as I said, France is bringing in some regulations, so they wanted to ban Forex, which is basically trading on currency, and also binary options, which is the very risky side of things as well. So we want to see, well, maybe with a market as sizable as France, people might have a different approach. No. So yeah, it's a very similar story there. There's a few there. I think this was the Forex, I think that I was looking at. Yeah, there's a few there from Forex. As you can see, again, another demonstration to the regulators saying, look, this is a fairly established financial market, people know what they're doing, and yet these people are still coming in. Some of them, I think IQ option regulated in Cyprus, but a lot of them are going to be regulated like X90 in obscure parts of the world where they aren't subject to the same restrictions that regulators put on. And again, this is more material providing to our board in the conversations around that. But then you thought, well, maybe give them a benefit of doubt. Perhaps they're bidding on some ambiguous keywords we've got in there, just to see what is. So we ran a search term detail report, and you can see from there that we've got the Forex trading, trader Forex, broker Forex, not very ambiguous. It's quite clear. They're targeting people who want to trade on these things and broker things on there. So yet more ammunition that we could use thanks to Adthena to try and show exactly what's going on, providing insights into what our competitors are doing. And then again, are the numbers of clicks small? Is it a tiny market in that, in which case it's not going to be a big thing? We're talking, this is a 30-day report, so you're talking thousands of clicks on half a dozen keywords there. The whole scope of things, it's going to be a big, big market there. People are still going in there advertising on it. And so this was really allowing us to show to the FCA, look, if you start banning things, it doesn't stop people being there. In fact, it makes things worse because people are going to get exploited by people like X90 that I showed you in terms of what they're kind of bringing them in, offering them deals and things, and then running away with their money. But on top of that, the next question is, well, maybe it's like brand bidding, where you bid on their brand, but you don't use their brand names. It's not quite as bad, and you can try and argue that you're not really, it's just a broad match or something like that. So again, you can run a top adverts report and just see exactly what they're saying. So a few examples there, but my French isn't amazing, but I'm pretty sure that option binaire is binary options, which I'm pretty sure is a banned product on there. So definitely things going on there that they shouldn't be doing there. And again, just more ammunition for us to say that these things don't work very well. So I kind of want to wrap everything up in terms of what Adthena provided for us. So we've got, first off, a clear demonstration that regulators' advertising bans don't work. People are still there. We wouldn't have had that without Adthena. We've got that insight to show exactly all the competitors that are on there. We can pick ones out and show, well, these are regulated, these ones aren't, and show them to people and say, okay, this is something you should be looking into. We've also got details of the scam brokers. So we were able to go in, find who they are, look at their websites, explore more about them, and look at what they're doing and understand, well, what are they offering? Even if perhaps they weren't a scam, we can still see, well, what are they saying? What are they offering? Are we comparable with them? What else can we do? And then adding to that, we've got lists of searches. So all the brokers, all the Forex stuff they're bidding on, binary options, anything like that. And we can just pull that out there. We're not going through, traipsing through, trying to set up a VPN to Belgium and try and do all the searches on there. We've got Adthena stepping in, just saying, right, here's a server. 2 weeks later, we've got some monitoring there. Just go to town and find out what's interesting there. And then finally, we've got the ad report as well, which gives us all the details of the ads. And we can start to pull out, well, what's not compliant. We can look at maybe who's bidding on our brand terms as a result of us not being able to advertise on there as well. And just getting a real sense of every feature of what's going on within that search market. And yeah, without Adthena, I don't think we'd have been able to get anywhere close to that. It would have been a case of us just manually just trying to pretend we're Belgians and searching for all these things. So yeah, I mean, I know this isn't the most conventional talk that you're going to see in terms of the uses of it, but hopefully it's still giving you some ideas in terms of things you can look at and bring out the different reports to really show stuff to your board, not just sort of what can we do day to day in terms of our, sort of what are we bidding on, what are competitors doing. Actually, it's great insights at every level of the business to understand what's happening out there. Yeah. That's me.